Hello. All right, so we are reading from there we go. First mistake. We are reading from How a Miserable Person Gets Through the Day, in parentheses, maybe even marvelously. Um, and I can tell I might stumble a bit, and that's okay. Better to share than not to share. Um, in lots of situations, not all. So it is a blanket statement. So um, the other one that comes to mind that my friend just shared for me has to do with doing something imperfectly now is way better than doing something perfectly never. And if I wait for this to be perfect, it will not get done because I have an amazing editor and critic inside. And that editor and critic will have a field day with everything that seems like an imperfection. So let's just roll with it. Chapter 1: To die or not to die, when it is no longer a question but seems the only answer. So, this book is about living after an attempted suicide. The stuff you are about to encounter in this chapter is about the suicide part of my story, ideations, which means thinking about it a lot, and the actual attempts. I can't pretend I know how you feel now or have felt in the past. However, I can share about how I felt, and perhaps you relate to it or maybe you don't. I'll share it and you can take what you like and leave the rest. Trigger alert. The next words are about wanting to die and envisioning how. If this is too much to experience, please move to a different chapter or video. There are many uplifting and encouraging tools you can read about and or try. If you decide to continue and it feels more harmful to you than therapeutic at any time, please look to other parts of the book for inspiration. This chapter talks about how I felt when I had no hope. I write it not to upset or hurt anyone, but to qualify myself as someone who has been there. My education is my experience through the hell of depression. One more thing that's not right here in the book. I may not have all my video tools up, or any of them when you first see this video. There are so many amazing YouTube videos that you can go to. And I started putting that in the description of my video. And maybe if I can figure it out, I can also put it in the comments of until I get my stuff up, and even when I have my stuff up, go to the places that bring you joy, happiness, and help better your life. And so I'll share some of those with you. And I will share a tool if I have time at the end of this message as well. But do not listen to this message if you don't want to hear about a suicide attempt, okay? Or about the depression that happened before that started. Okay, here we go. Back to the book. The depression became overwhelming when I was 14, though I had no name for what was happening to me at the time. I think it had started a couple of years earlier, a numbness and a discord, a social anxiety, an isolation, a feeling of being very different and not in a good way. My grades started slipping quite a bit. I went from being on the honor roll to getting C's, D's, and F's. I found escape from my social anxiety in skipping school, and I preferred walking by myself in the woods by my home over dealing with the torture school had become for me. I was embarrassed and ashamed, and due to acne, I thought I was cursed. I thought I was being punished for those carefree earlier years of my life where I was not as deep and more superficial. This feeling of not being enough still challenges me today. I moved the cursor, so now I need to find it again. Yes, okay. This feeling of not being enough still challenges me today, but I have better tools for it now. My family life seemed normal in a military kind of family way. Um, all of my friends seemed to be in the same boat as me, moving every 3 years. I was physically hit and emotionally tortured by a family member who was also physically hit and emotionally tortured by another family member because shit runs downhill. This was not unusual in the 1980s, and it just seemed like normal family life to me. However, what didn't seem normal was I was shrinking away and becoming extremely old, as if I were dying. This was still happening. I'm sorry, this was happening on the inside, even though I was young and healthy on the outside. I did not share my secret with anyone. And one day, while lying in my bed, pretending I was physically sick from school, I tried to stop myself from breathing. All right, so if you've read this far, I want to stop right now and I want to share a tool that's called the next indicated step. So sometimes I get stuck. I get stuck in ruminating with different worries and thoughts. So stuck, I feel like I can't move. I can't get past it. Too many thoughts and considerations, um, and I need to do things during the day. I know that that would be a better thing to do. So what I have to do sometimes is just take those worries and hand them over to my higher power. So some people would say, hand them over to God. Hand them over to God and ask for what is the next indicated step. And the next indicated step is a step that is healthy and positive. And so I know it's the next right step because I've prayed about it. I've given my life and will over the care of a loving God. And so now I'm just going to do the next indicated step. It might be something like, okay, brush your teeth. It might be filling out my food plan for the day because I'm an overeater, and filling out a food plan really helps me to not overeat. It might be having breakfast. It might be getting up and taking a shower. Might be calling a friend. So so many different options that are very healthy and positive, but can help us get out of that rumination. And that is called the next right step or the next indicated step. So I hope that that tool will come in handy for you. And if you already have heard it, if you've been in any of the 12 steps, it's something that has been shared in those programs. And I hope it helps you a lot, or that you enjoyed hearing it. And if not, you just take what you like and leave the rest. Hope to see you again if this is helpful at all to you. Thanks.